Cost of watering your lawn, washing your dog, taking a bath, and maybe drinking a Stroh's or a Faygo is going to go up because of a decision by the Detroit City Council. And tonight, there is some serious talk of digging up the body of Elvis Presley for a series of tests. I'll have the stories for you in just a moment. Jerry Hodak will be stepping in with the weather. Dave Dials with sports. Diana Lewis, Bill Bonds, those stories and much more information.
I really miss the business. I mean, there's nothing like it. It's something new every day.
It's going to be interesting to watch this one develop.
And if you're with the right kind of people, that which is new is usually compelling and interesting.
A verbal and indeed a legal bombshell dropped in a Detroit federal courtroom today.
And you're sharing the first page of history that day with the community in which you live. That isn't bad.
On the upfront segment tonight, the future of the city of Detroit, and our guest is the man who was in the hot seat, if you will. Mr. Mayor, thank you so much for being with us this afternoon.
Bill Bonds was perfect for the new medium of television. Part showman, part newsman, part actor, part philosopher.
As a pompous, overpaid television anchor person, one gets accustomed to offering his profound views on everything from the greenhouse effect to the Alaskan oil spill.
He would be a major factor in Detroit for all or part of 5 decades.
Look, I go through enough crap back here, I don't have to go through it with you.
Well,
and let me tell you something.
No, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something.
No, you tell yourself something. I'm tired of talking to you.
Okay, fine. I'm tired of talking to you.
People watch Bill Bonds. I often said that Billy was great because he was predictably unpredictable. And you watched him to see what the hell is he going to do tonight.
He had an innate sense, a total understanding of what that medium could be. If you look at the typical anchor at that time, it was Dick Westerkamp or Le Goff, and they were quite good. They were great newsmen, but it was, good evening, this is the news, whereas Bill took the dramatic he understood the dramatic possibilities of that medium.
Extremely talented. Extremely talented. He never faltered in the high opinion of his own self. He really wanted to be the only one.
Bonds grew up on Detroit's West Side, the son of a school teacher and an advertising executive. He says Detroit's 1943 riot was a formative event. He remembers at the age of 10 being on a streetcar as riders tried to protect a black man from a street gang.
The gang apparently saw him get on this gang of white guys, maybe, I don't know, half a dozen of them or a dozen, and they came over the streetcar and they pulled the runner down so that it came off the electricity feed and stopped the streetcar. And they came on board and they carried him off, and I don't know what happened to him.
This is Bill Bonds, WKNR Contact News.
He would work his way through local radio and continually campaign for a job in television. At one point, Channel 4's Sonny Elliott introduced him to news director Jim Clark.
He was almost like an agent for me. I mean, he went to Jim Clark and said, "You got to hire this guy."
Bill went up there, and within 5 minutes, he called Jim Clark all kinds of names. They had a fight that was that could have been heard 4 blocks away, and Jim Clark threw Bill Bonds out of the studio.
He said, "Yeah, but we're number one." He said, "Well," I said, "Well, you won't be unless you hire me," something like that. So I blew it.
Clark once told me there were so many egos running around. He said I didn't want to add another big one, to the mix.
By 1964, he had landed a job at Channel 7.
Dr. King, would you think about this just a moment before you answer it?
In the summer of '67, the station's coverage of the riots would change the station's ratings trajectory and the public's perception of Bill Bonds.
We said it couldn't happen here. Things were too good. But it did, and the nation was shocked.
As his reputation grew, he dabbled with stations in New York and Los Angeles, but it was never quite the same as it was in his hometown.
Bonds, Kelly, Ackerman, Turner, Channel 7's Action News Team. We got who you wanted.
The biggest job at Channel 7 was keeping all of that talent in line. It wasn't easy. They were all top-notch people, but Bill was the top of the notch.
Over the years, he would become a part of the area's folklore, the challenge to Mayor Coleman Young to a fistfight, the ever-evolving toupees, the battle with alcohol.
Bill's alcohol problem should have been addressed much earlier, and it wasn't.
I certainly was not treated unfairly. I was given plenty of chances to take care of one little area of my life that, you know.
This may be the last television news that I ever get to anchor, so I'm going to take a
shot at one little commentary here.
Today, he says his drinking days are long gone, but his enthusiasm for the craft he mastered, unlike anyone else, remains.
We're in the business of presenting history because it's important to the people with whom we live, for the good of our society and ourselves and our company and our product. It's important stuff. And don't treat it frivolously.